Health Coach. Well, we've had some great discussions recently in my Health Coaching Essentials course about one phrase that can seem supportive but doesn't really align with the principles of coaching. And that phrase is, "I'm so proud of you." So let's dig into this to find out why it's best to refrain from using this common phrase and what to do instead. So on the surface, expressing pride may seem like a positive affirmation. I know many coaches do it because they want to be supportive, to cheer their clients on, and to affirm and acknowledge their hard work. So essentially, it's coming from a good place within the coach. But what you might not have thought about is the subtle implications of this phrase that might not really align with the principles of effective coaching. As I'm sure you know, health coaching revolves around empowering individuals to take charge of their well-being. It's about fostering intrinsic motivation and guiding our clients towards sustainable lifestyle changes. And when we use language like, "I'm so proud of you," it shifts the balance of power in the coaching relationship. It puts you up here and the client down here. And in coaching, we're equals, right? We come into the coaching relationship in a neutral balance of power, and we really want to keep it that way. So here are my top 4 reasons why you should refrain from using "I'm so proud of you" in coaching. So the first one is around external validation versus intrinsic motivation. When a coach says, "I'm proud of you," it may inadvertently reinforce the need for external validation. So rather than getting motivation from within, the client starts to seek approval or acknowledgement from you, their coach. And this can really hinder the development of that intrinsic motivation, which is really crucial for that long-term behavioral change. The second reason why is around ownership of achievements. In health coaching, we focus on empowering individuals to take ownership of the successes and setbacks. And saying, "I'm proud of you," shifts that focus from the individual's efforts to the coach's approval. So instead of focusing on what the client did to achieve their successes, we focus on the coach's opinion. The third reason is around impact on self-esteem. So relying on external validation, such as hearing "I'm proud of you," can influence an individual's self-esteem. If they don't receive such affirmation regularly, it might negatively impact their self-worth or their motivation levels. So if you start to say it, and then some sessions you don't say it, your client might feel deflated that they weren't successful. The fourth reason is around encouraging autonomy. A fundamental principle of health coaching involves fostering autonomy. And so instead of saying, "I'm proud of you," coaches aim to facilitate self-reflection, self-acknowledgement, and self-efficacy, right? That belief in themselves that they can do it. So this process helps individuals, our clients, recognize their accomplishments without relying on external praise from you. What we really want is the client to believe in themselves because they have the skills, the tools, abilities, and resources to make change, and to recognize that they did it, not to receive our approval. So at the end of the day, my opinion as the coach doesn't really matter. What matters is what the client believes about their ability to make these changes. So instead of expressing pride and saying "I'm proud of you," I have 3 more empowering coaching techniques that you can use instead. The first is reflective listening. So instead of saying "I'm proud of you," reflect back to the client, acknowledge something they said or what they did, or even better, affirm back a strength, an attribute, or a character trait. You can start with, "So it sounds like," or "What I'm hearing is," or "I noticed that you said or did X, Y, or Z," or "I noticed that you demonstrated courage, persistent, commitment," whatever it was. This type of affirmation will keep it client-centered versus imposing your personal judgment or your opinion or pride. The second tip is to use empowering questions. Ask open-ended questions that prompt self-reflection and encourage your clients to recognize their achievements on their own terms. So what was different this time? What enabled you to make this change? What contributed to this success? What skills or abilities did you use here? The third tip is to acknowledge effort and growth. Instead of expressing your personal pride, focus the coaching on acknowledging the effort, the commitment, and the growth that your client is making. Use phrases like, "I'd like to acknowledge all your hard work on this." "I noticed how you really gave this a solid effort." Or, "I want to commend you for pushing beyond your comfort zone." Or, "I applaud you for reaching this milestone." In essence, while the intention behind saying, "I'm proud of you," might feel positive and supportive, it's essential to steer the coaching conversation toward building that intrinsic motivation, establishing autonomy, and inviting self-reflection from your client. And by empowering individuals and our clients to recognize and celebrate their achievements independently, you're going to maintain that neutral balance of power in the coaching relationship. And effectively, you'll be supporting your clients on their journey toward lasting health and well-being, which is what we're here for, right? So if you've ever doubted yourself as a health coach, I'd love for you to watch the next video over on the right, where I explain how I went from feeling like a fraud to being a confident and effective health coach. Thanks so much for tuning in today. See you next time.